Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we are diving deep into the present continuous tense. Now, you might think you know it. It's for things happening right now, right? Well, yes, but it's so much more than that. It's a tool for talking about what's temporary, what's planned for the future, and even for showing a little emotion. By the end of this, you're going to see exactly how to use it like a pro. Let's get into it.
So let me ask you, what are you doing right now? Seriously, you're watching this, you're listening to me, maybe you're taking notes. The moment you answer that question, you are using the present continuous. It is the tense of action that is currently in progress. So here's our game plan. We'll start with that core idea, the in-progress tense. Then we'll see how it works for the here and now. After that, we'll look at patterns in plans and then get into the more subtle stuff, like emotions. And you'll definitely want to stick around for the end, where we cover the big exception, the one rule that trips almost everybody up. Okay, first things first. Let's nail down the single most important idea. Everything, and I mean everything about the present continuous, comes back to this one concept. An action is in progress.
Think of it like this. The action is started, but it hasn't finished yet. It's an unfinished business, a story that's still being told. And as we're about to see, that unfinished window can be just a few seconds long, it could be a few months, or it could even be a future plan that you've already set in motion.
All right, so we've got our main idea, an action in progress. Now let's look at where you see it most often, talking about things happening right here, right now, and in other temporary situations.
This is the classic stuff, right? Ground zero for the present continuous. She is writing the email. She hasn't hit send yet. I'm cooking dinner. It's not on the table. Each of these things is unfinished. It's happening at the very moment we're speaking. But here's where it gets really interesting and a lot more powerful. That in-progress idea doesn't have to mean right this second. It can stretch out to cover a whole situation, something that's just happening in our lives for a limited time. This right here is the perfect example. Look at the difference. If I say I work at a school, that sounds pretty permanent, you know? It's my job, maybe my career. But if I say I'm working at a school, it just feels different, doesn't it? It signals that it's temporary. Maybe it's a summer job or contract. It's my situation for now.
So this idea of a temporary phase is super useful. It stretches perfectly to cover new habits we're trying to build and, really importantly, for talking about definite plans for the future.
So if you've decided to start something new, this is the tense for you. I'm exercising every day this month. You might not be on the treadmill this very second, but the project of exercising is in progress for this month. The key clues are those time words, this month, these days, lately. They tell you it's a temporary pattern.
And this one is a game changer. We use the present continuous for future plans that are basically locked in. Think of it like this. The arrangements are made, it's in the calendar. It's not just a hope, it's a plan. When you say, I'm visiting my grandparents, it sounds way more certain than, I will visit. It's happening.
Okay, so beyond just actions and plans, this tense can add some real flavor and emotion to your speech. It's fantastic for talking about situations that are changing, and funny enough, it's really, really good for complaining.
Oh, we've all said this, or had it said to us, right? When you take the present continuous and you add a word like always or forever, you're not just stating a fact, you are expressing pure annoyance. It takes a simple habit and turns it into this constant, frustrating behavior that you're just fed up with.
It's also the go-to tense for describing change while it's happening. I mean, look at this chart. You wouldn't just say profits declined. No, you'd say profits are declining. That ing shows us we are in the middle of a process, an ongoing trend. The same goes for any evolution, like the city is growing so fast, or my guitar skills are improving.
All right, we have covered all the ways to use it. Now for the last section, and honestly, this might be the most important one. We need to talk about when you can't or really shouldn't use it. This is the big exception that catches so many people.
Here it is, the golden rule you just have to remember. Some verbs describe states, not actions. They're about being, not doing. I like to think of them as a photograph, a still image, not a movie. And these verbs, which we call stative verbs, they just don't play well with the ing. And here are the usual suspects. See the pattern?
They're about what's going on in your head, like know or believe. They're about your feelings, like love or want. And they're about what you have, like own or belong. You don't perform the action of knowing something. You're just in that state.
And that leads us to this classic mistake. I'm believing you. It just sounds weird, right? You can feel that something's off. And that's your brain telling you that believe is a state of mind, not a temporary action you can perform.
The correct way, of course, is just the simple present, I believe you. Same for I understand, not I'm understanding. Or I want this, not I'm wanting this. Getting this difference between action verbs and state verbs down, that is the final key to truly mastering this tense.
So, let's wrap it all up with a quick tool. Here's a little 3-step checklist you can run through in your head. First, ask yourself, is the action unfinished or temporary? Second, is it a special case, like a new habit, a future plan, or a situation that's changing? And third, the final crucial check. Is my verb an action verb, or is it a state verb like know or love?
And there you have it. You are now fully equipped to go out and use the present continuous with total confidence. So I'll leave you with a question that uses the tense itself. What new skill are you learning these days? Thanks for joining this edition of The Explainer.